During the heyday of European imperialism, France and Britain ruled over most of the Muslim world. Their political, social, and military power was essentially unmatched, leading to Muslim societies falling under their sway, either through direct military control or through educational, cultural, and social influence. In the late 19th century, the French ruled over Algeria directly. Unlike most other colonies, the French considered Algeria to be a part of France itself, and as such enacted policies designed to recreate French society in North Africa. As such, the native Muslim Algerian population was massively oppressed. The Ottoman Empire, which had previously ruled Algeria, was in a state of decline and unable to do anything to help the Muslims of the region. In this environment, Hamid ibn Badis was born in 1889. He came from a scholarly family with a long line of ulama who had preceded him. When it came time for him to study the Islamic sciences himself, he had to leave Algeria and travel to Tunis, where he studied at Al-Jamia al-Zaytuna. He studied there for 4 years, mastering the Arabic language and the traditional Islamic sciences. Due to the oppression of traditional Islamic scholarship in Algeria, he traveled throughout the Muslim world, seeking out other scholars as a means of developing an anti-colonial Muslim response to French occupation. Upon returning to Algeria in 1913, he immediately set up the educational infrastructure needed to develop an Algerian Islamic identity that could resist the French. In his mind, the only way for Muslims to defeat European imperialism was to return back to the Islamic intellectual tradition as a framework for Muslim society, education, and culture. By insisting on Islamic belief, Algerian culture, and the Arabic language, he helped develop an identity in direct opposition to state atheism, European modernity, and the French language that was being imposed on his population. An example of his strong resistance to Europe imposing its history and culture on Muslims was his famous quote, "I would rather take a bullet to the chest than for the French language to enter into the Arabic schools. إني لأرضى أن تدخل رصاصة في صدري بدلا من أن تدخل اللغة الفرنسية إلى المدارس العربية." In 1931, he founded the Association of Algerian Muslim Ulama. The publications put out by this organization were designed to inspire resistance to European imperialism within and outside of Algeria, including raising awareness among Algerian Muslims about the British policies in Palestine in the 1930s that were encouraging Zionist immigration and suppressing Islamic institutions. Abdul Hamid ibn Badis died in 1940, 22 years before Algeria finally became independent of France. But the work that he did and the institutions he helped found were an integral part of the growing Algerian independence movement. Many of the leaders of the independence movement were directly inspired by the work he did to develop an Islamic identity within Algeria that served as the basis for anti-colonial resistance.